various academic institutions. I, Sanju Chaudhary, a Bachelor of Education student from Galgotias University, am delighted to welcome you all to the Day 4 of the Faculty Development Program, an initiative collaboratively organized by the Army Institute of Education and Galgotias University under the Internal Quality Assurance Cell and the Research and Development Cells of both the institutions. As we embark on today's session, let us briefly reflect on the discussions held on Day 3, which revolve around the essential subjects of NAAC accreditations and documentations. The session provided valuable perspectives and strategies for academic institutions striving for excellence in accreditation standards. Today, we continue our journey of intellectual growth, collaboration, and knowledge sharing with an equally vital topic that holds immense significance in the realm of higher education. The primary objective of this faculty development program is to empower educators and academic leaders with the tools, knowledge, and insights necessary for fostering innovation and ensuring quality education. In today's session, we dwell into the intricacies of NBA accreditation, an indispensable framework for achieving academic excellence and promoting institutional accountability. The National Board of Accreditation is an autonomous body established under the All India Council for Technical Education. Its primary role is to assess and accredit professional and technical programs, including engineering, management, pharmacy, and architecture, ensuring they meet globally recognized quality standards. The NBA accreditation is not merely a certification, but a commitment to excellence, accountability, and global competitiveness. It is a pathway that ensures institutions, educators, and students thrive in a dynamic and ever-evolving academic landscape. Accreditation plays a pivotal role in determining an institution's credibility and reputation, thereby contributing to the holistic development of both educators and learners. The emphasis on structured evaluation, robust documentation, and systematic improvement not only ensures compliance with quality benchmarks, but also enables institutions to align themselves with global educational standards. To guide us through with this vital discourse, we have the privilege of being joined by retired Air Commodore Dr. Jayant Kumar Sahu sir, Director of the Army Institute of Management and Technology, a luminary in the field with extensive experience and expertise. Before we proceed, I kindly remind all participants to complete the attendance form provided in the chat box. Submission of this form is essential for maintaining accurate records of participation. To formally introduce our distinguished guest, it is my honor to invite Dr. Navita Malik ma'am, a highly esteemed professor from Galgotias University, to take over the stage. Over to you, ma'am.
A very warm good afternoon to all of you. It's my immense pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all the participants of this faculty development program. Today, we are honored to have with us distinguished guest and a keynote speaker, Dr. J.K. Sahu, Air Commodore retired, a distinguished professional with a remarkable 33 years in the Indian Air Force Meteorological Branch. He has demonstrated excellence as an educator, researcher, and administrator, and culminating as his role in the Principal Director at Air Headquarters, New Delhi. Dr. Sahu holds two PhD degrees in Management and Atmospheric Physics, along with three multiple MPhil degrees in diverse fields such as Defense Studies, Management, and Meteorology. His academic interests span HR analytics, research methodology, system analysis, project management, mathematical modeling, and artificial intelligence. Dr. Sahu has made a significant contribution to higher education through his role as a head of department in operation research and statistics at various colleges, focusing on curriculum development, research guidance, and technology integration. He has published more than 26 research papers on different topics such as atmospheric sciences, leadership, ethics, and management, and has guided numerous research theses. His expertise extends to disaster management, where he played a vital role in post earthquake reconstruction in Jammu and Kashmir and contributed to the UN peacekeeping mission in the Congo, where he enhanced meteorological capabilities and authored a manual on African climatology. A visionary leader, Dr. Sahu has modernized academic and operational framework, including leading digitization projects for libraries and introducing advanced technologies for weather forecasting and aviation. He has been recognized with multiple commendations from high-ranking defense authorities and international organizations, including the UN Peacekeeping Force. Additionally, he has participated in prestigious training programs at institutions like IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta, specializing in leadership, data analytics, and AI. Dr. Sahu international experience include contribution to the air combat exercises and disaster response strategies. His dedication to advancing education and operation excellence is evident that in his organization so that he can organize various workshops, FDPs on research methods and operation tools. With his multidisciplinary expertise and strategic leadership, Dr. Sahu continues to inspire and innovate in academia and beyond. Dr. Sahu has played various pivotal roles, and today we are honored that he is there in FDP to guide us. Dr. Sahu, it is indeed a privilege to have you with us today to share your insights and expertise. Your journey and achievement are an inspiration to us all. On behalf of everyone present here, I extend a heartfelt welcome and look forward to learning from your invaluable experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. J.K. Sahu.
Oh, thank you,
Over
ma'am.
to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the big introduction. Can I request you to give me a permission to present?
Sure, sir.
Okay. Is my slide visible to all of you, please?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to this faculty development program. It is my honor to discuss the few aspects of the NBA as been introduced to you by the speakers. It is in the National Board of Accreditation. To begin with, I also, since you all have heard about my CV, which has been spoken in extensively, I must admit that in this journey of NBA accreditations, I'm also not a very old guy. I am also new to this because recently in our college, that is at the Army Institute of Management Technology, we have now applied for NBA accreditation. So during this process only, uh, my journey has started to know exactly what are the requirements of NBA accreditations and how it helps, what are the processes. So I will be sharing my experience, and definitely if anybody can supplement, this will be do a value addition to everyone. Coming to NBA accreditations, as we discuss through these lectures of about 1.5 hours, the entire process I will cover in basically three stages. The first stage will talk about what is NBA, how to apply, what are the documents to be prepared, and how these documents becomes important. So that is become the stage one. Then we'll discuss about the stage two is how the team visits you and what is the way they assess you. And the third stage definitely is that accreditations, what are the criteria and what basis you get accredited, how long it is valid. So this is the way you wanted to touch it upon. So introduced to the subject of accreditation, that mostly we in the educational institutes, we need to follow this sort of a process because of the mandate that it is an ongoing evaluation process. When I say evaluation process, basically all these educational institutes, when we start institute or when we start our program, we actually get an affiliated to maybe AICT approval, or depending upon the course curriculum, the responsible agencies. So we get an approval, we get an affiliated to university, or we are a deemed university. So first thing is the intent. So in an approval process, we have an intent to do this. Based on that intents, we start our educational curriculum. Now, what are the processes we are following it? Whether that process is a standard process, or there is a shortcoming, there is a stages differences. That's actually the accreditations help. That is the process where we will be discussing it. So, to summarize what I discussed to you, so accreditations basically I can define it is a formal recognition of the quality of an educational program by an external independent agency by impartial assessment on the basis of well-defined criteria of assessment. So practically speaking, when you want to the various course curriculum you are following, how you are following that's the entire process will be validated by an external independent agency. So when they validate what they see, they ensure that the quality, whatever you do, quality assurance, is it any improvement required? So that sort of a critical evaluations has been done. So practically what you intend to do, it is a stamp on that yes, you are, whatever the path you are following, what are the curriculum you are following, that curriculum is in the right directions, or some path corrections is required to be done. So in this process, as you know, in India, there are many accreditations agencies. Now, based on depending, basically there is the educational curriculum we follow. As you know, in our complete educational curriculum, we have different agencies, as I listed out here. To name a few: Central Advisory Board of Education, All India Council for Elementary Education, All India Council for Secondary Education. We have University Grant Commission. You have All India Council for Technical Education. We have National Assessment and Accreditation Council. Similarly, we have agencies for a professional institutes, Medical Council of India, Indian Nursing, Dental, Pharmacy Council of India. So these are the basically broad agencies who control all our education curriculum, different educational curriculum, the university, the institutes are doing it. So under their guidelines, the entire Indian education systems work. And for your information, Indian education system is a very large, complex and multi-layered systems. And we broadly, if we say, it is different types of 5 type of educational institutes in India which follow. The central universities, or the central government funded institutes, university institutes. There are some institutes which has been funded by state government. Then we have privately owned or funded institutes. You have deemed to be universities, and you have institutions of national importance. So broadly, whatever colleges, institutes, university we talk about can be broadly defined under these 5 categories. And this is in data of 2023. So 2023, as per the summary, this data says India has a 3rd largest higher educational system in the world, behind China and the USA, which comprising of 903 universities, 39,000 affiliated colleges, more than 10,000 institutes like this. So we are in a very broad, in a complex education systems. And as I brought it out, there are many regulatory bodies, there are many accreditation agencies. So in this domain, we need to work. So I want to repeat here at this stage the difference between an approval or affiliation and a accreditation. When you take an approval, you talk about what is the intention, what you are trying to promise. That, okay, let's say I am a management college, so my intention is to conduct BBA and MBA curriculum. Now I have created my vision statement, I have created my mission statement. So I am promising that this I will be producing the student who will meet X, Y, Z. So this is my promise. I have certain physical infrastructures available, my classroom, my lab, there is a financial support. So these are my, the various on that data. I seek an approval of AICT. I seek an approval of Guru Gobind Singh IP University in my case. And they will assess my capabilities or my infrastructures, and they will quantitatively assess me, and then they will give me a straightforward decision. Yes, you can go ahead, or no. For an example, I want to start a new course. I want to start a engineering curriculum. So I will project my requirement. I'll intend my thing, and they will say, yes, go ahead or not. While in case of accreditation, the game is completely different. The game is actually what is your input versus output. When you say you are promising this, this is what you are doing it. Here, the agency want to check that how you are actually converting your input to your output. You are getting your student, and when the student pass out, how, what have they achieved. So the entire process has to be assessed. So it will be an assessment of the performance. It will also, since most of us dealing with the student, it talks about also human resources, because many things has to come as a subjective. And also this agency, what they do it, they create certain self-assessment questionnaires. You will have some sort of a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. There will be a qualitative assessment, so quality system. So that accreditation is a complete different prospects of the evaluations or affiliations process what we'll be talking. So in this sense, today I'll be talking about the National Bureau of Accreditations, which is called the NBA. This agency was established in 1994 under Section 10 of AICT Act. So initially it was the AICT, the All India Council for Technical Education. So they formulated this. We must have a inspecting agency that they go around, inspect the institutes, they carry out a audit, and they do a rating of the institutes. Then subsequently in 2010, and the NBA become an autonomous body. So that means it is no longer now under AICT. So it has becomes an autonomous body. And in 2013, they created a memorandum of association and rules of NBA, which is now maintain a completely independence from AICT administratively as well as financially. Now that means this National Bureau of Accreditations has now become a completely independent agency, both administratively as well as financially. It's been headed by a chairman who, and they have a complete own setup. They have no longer linked with the original agency AICT on which they were been formed. So it is a completely independent functioning. They doesn't reserve any sort of a guidelines or from any regulatory bodies or technical agencies. So let's see how then they perform their duties and what sort of things they do it. So what NBA does it? Now NBA conducts evaluations of the program of the technical institution based on the following evaluation criteria and parameter laid down by the committee and council. So what they have done it, they've created certain criteria. In NBA, whenever you are trying to see it, certain criteria they will formulated on which they want to see your institutes, how it has been. So what are the criteria they look at? They look at your institutional vision, mission, objective. What is your organization governance? What is your infrastructure facility? What is your quality of teaching and learning? How you do your curriculum design and review? What are the support services you have? Library, laboratory, instrumentation, computer facility. So all these things they do. So there are certain criteria which I'll be discussing. So we'll go as we proceed in the journey. So far what I have discussed in last about 15 minutes is the difference between an affiliation and accreditation. What are the accreditations agencies? And we are now focusing the accreditations program. And now in the NBA accreditations program, basically they do what is called a two-tier systems. There is basically the tier 1 type of accreditations or systems is they do to the autonomous institutes, university department, and colleges of the university. So basically it is for the university, for the autonomous institutes, and even all IITs, all NITs, they are comes under the tier 1 systems. In the tier 2, which I am sure most of us which are in the affiliate in this FDP program, so most of us, the tier 2 systems will be applicable. So this will be for non-autonomous institutes, that is those colleges and technical institutions which are affiliated to a university. So they comes under the tier 2. How about the criteria of evaluations? By and large remains same. There is slightly variations on the evaluation ranking. So how they go about it. So what they do it? So in that process which I have highlighted, so first they wanted to see what are your support, what are your technical institutions, how much of what are your employees, how they are going about, what are the processes which will be following. Now let's see first NBA required for which are the institutes for which NBA is required. As I try to bring it out, how do you get benefited when you say accreditations? Basically, the institution, this becomes a assessment criteria when they do, and then they give a level to this accreditation. It is basically help institution to know its strength, weakness, its opportunity, what sort of a institutions, innovative pedagogy they are using. They also given direction to the institutes. So practically today in education line, in education institute, accreditations play a very, very important role. Most of the student, most of the company, when they do for the placement, they want to assess in institutes. Because if they know out that student X has passed out from this institute and this is their rating by this sort of a independent agency, automatically that sort of a like we talk about IIMs, we talk about IITs, that sort of a perception is already built in, because these institutes do follow this sort of a accreditation process. So when you talk about NBA, what NBA, which institutes are required, or what are the curriculum is been, and again, by the way, since you have been talking about NAAC, NBA, the NAAC has been given to the institutes for an organ, while NBA is basically to the programs. For an example, in this college, I may be running 5 programs, but I will be actually applying for NBA for any particular program. So what are these programs? As these institutes, the NBA provides under engineering and technology, they check your programs which are either diploma of 3-year duration, any undergraduate programs, or any postgraduate program. So your BTech, MTech programs, engineering, BTech and MTech programs comes under the NBA accreditations. In management, your PG programs, basically the MBA curriculum comes under NBA curriculum. In pharmacy, you have the diploma, you have an undergraduate and PG programs. architect, applied arts, crafts, again UG and PG program, computer applications. If you're doing any MCA curriculum, so your MCA programs comes under NAAC, and hotel management and catering technology. So these are the uh, courses on which the NBA looks into the things. The NBA doesn't looks into for an example, you are in a medical college. Now the medical college don't come into the NBA jurisdiction. So basically, the NBA jurisdictions will be applied to those institutes which are mostly running your BTech, MTech program, your MBA programs, your MCA programs, hotel management and catering programs, and of course, pharmacy programs. So these are the curriculums on which the NBA looks into the program. So as I mentioned to you, the programs I have given an example is how do they assess it? Now, basically, they assess under the 10 different criteria. This is how the complete assessment process is. As you can see in this slide, the first criteria is on your institute's vision, mission, and program educational objectives. I'll be discussing this in detail, that what it means, how do they assess, when an institute prepare, how do they prepare this sort of a vision, mission set. Because I'm sure each institute definitely has got you go to any institute, the institute definitely have a vision statement, has got a mission statement, but is it sufficient? Is that by just stating a statement, would you able to get that 50 marks? We'll discuss that. How do they assess? The second part is about the program curriculum, teaching and learning processes. So there is a detailed process on which they assess you, that what type of programs you are doing it, how teaching and learning processes are going on. The most important for which the NBA stands out than any other accreditation process, it is called a course outcome and program outcome. See, today the learning processes has now changed. Instead of syllabus curriculum, instead of the systems where you have an exam systems, here now each educational institutes are now say, what is your course outcome? What is your program outcome? That means what you intend to do, are you able to do it? So that is how COPO mapping is required. How they do the mapping. So they have NBA has got a very, very elaborate system of a COPO mapping. They do it. Then they assess student performance, how the students have been doing, what is the faculty information and contribution, what is the facilities and technical support your college has got, how you are implementing continuous improvement, basically on your academics, what are your academics curriculum, student support systems, and finally the governance, institutional support, and financial resources. So in total, the complete assessment by NBA team is based on the 1,000 marks. So in the 1,000 marks, this sort of assessment has been done. Then depending upon how much you have scored, overall certain criteria I'll be talking to you, that when you will get your NBA accreditation, what is the minimum eligibility criteria, what is the score required to be done by you, and the most important is you as an institute, if you already have been running the various program, how to prepare for an NBA, how to prepare for an inspection by NBA, and how to prepare the document. We'll be discussing that. Now, in this respect, there is another very important things I wanted to cover. This is called a Washington Accord. Now, this accord is basically the USA. As you know, the USA educational program, so this they follow a very, very rigid standard of academic standard. So initially, they in 1989, so based on the United States various educational program, how the educational program, what are the standard required, what are the basically, especially focusing into the undergraduate engineering degree program. So initially they created a memorandum of understanding MOU among many countries. So now the NBA actually become a provisional member of this Washington Accord in 2007. So 2007, the NBA becomes a signatory to that. What becomes a signatory? Basically, once you become a signatory to the Washington Accord, your guidelines or evaluation systems is now what NBA is following. It is following an international standard. So that means when you say the previous slide, these are the mapping which I have been talking about, the criteria, the marks, evaluation system. This is in the line of the Washington Accord. That means it is an international systems of evaluation. Now, this evaluation credit, you go to any other country, most of their education system do follow this sort of accreditation processes. So these standards been drawn out of this Washington Accord. That so since 2007, NBA has become a signatory to that, and since 2014, we have been given a status of a permanent signatory. Now, how do it help? It helped because what happened if a college been recognized by NBA, when let's say an institute X has been recognized by NBA and been given a grading, their student now been considered at par with the other institutes in US. So this is some sort of a parity you can bring it out. So you now see by just attaining your accreditation by NBA, straight away you will able to lift your institutes to a standard of international standard. Your students, if they pass out from your college, they can go and they can be considered at par with all the international standard institutes. So this is a very, very significant clause, and they were able to do a mutual recognitions. That means if you are passed out from IIT, that course has been recognized by US universities, who is also been part of this Washington Accord or the accreditations bodies. So that shows the credibility of this sort of a organization when they actually do it. So their independence and credibility. So before I go into detail, let me just bring out a few of a general policy on this accreditation. The first, as I bring it out, that we are actually the entire process, you are actually doing an accreditation of a program, not for any educational institution. The educational institute may be running 4 or 5 programs, but if you can only particular programs, you can get it accreditations. So it is for a program. The programs to be accredited should be offered by an educational institute which has been formally approved by AICT / concerned regulatory authority. So again, this program which you've been accredited has to be approved by AICT. So that is another mandatory program. Suppose I am doing my MBA program. So this has to be approved by the AICT. I cannot have my own program and then get it accredited by NBA. That's not permissible. For management programs, we should have at least 3 batches of students who have graduated are considered for accreditation. That means a minimum a college should be at least, a management college for an example, should be minimum of 5-year-old, so that at least 3 batches has been passed out. And when you start your journey, today they have simplified the entire system by that means when you log in, so you log into the NBA website, and then first process of your stage 1, which I am talking about, will be through creating your eNBA. So this is what will be the first steps we will be doing it. Now, for all these accreditations processes, as I brought it out initially, you have to pay a fee for that, because this is an independent agency They are both administratively and financially independent. So practically the revenue required for their operations been paid by the institute. So it is basically there are certain fees available which I'll be highlighting. So moment you register in eNBA, that means your institute you wanted to apply or go for NBA accreditation. First, you have to pay about 10% fee. So whatever your fee is there, so you need to pay 10% fee at the initial registration stage. That shows that you have an intention to apply for this. So once you register, you will be given an user ID, password. I'll be opening to their website and then we'll show to you that how you go about it. The next is you need to fill up a online, that is a very, very important document called self-assessment report, SAR. So once you log in, then you will be asked to the pre-qualifier report you have to submit. So during that time, you need to pay the balance 90% of the fee. So whenever you are submitting your SAR, so that's the things you can pay. And this validity time, whenever you register to that submission of SAR, so 6-month period has been allowed. And then what NBA does it? The NBA creates a time schedule. So for their inspection. And during your SAR, you are supposed to submit a tentative inspecting period when you submit it, and then the NBA team, based on their schedule, they schedule a visit to your institute. So the title of the programs to be accredited must be in the same as shown on the graduating student degree. For an example, suppose you are running a BTech program or running an MCA program. So whatever the degrees you are getting, the exact name has to be given. There is no part-time programs can be accredited. So if you are running a part-time program, that is not there. As I brought it out, only AICT approval programs, so that sort of a programs which you can only approve it. Now, once you have submitted SAR, let's say you still has an option to withdraw. So there is an option available that even if you have submitted, so you have an options to withdraw, because sometimes suppose you realize that yes, I had submitted my SAR, so my MBA accreditations are there, but however, you realize while preparing the SAR document that you will not likely to make it, because as I brought it out, the NBA follows a very rigid criteria of assessment and the accreditation criteria. So you have an option to withdraw. So that is something you can request. You can submit a written request to the team chair during that exit meeting, and then you will be even take a permitted to exit from that stage. Now, after accreditations, now NBA either gives you accreditations, there are certain rating, or will not accredited you. So there is nothing called a pass or fail. So that means you will be not accredited by NBA. So, and then if you are not satisfied with them, you also has got a chance to appeal against the decision. So you'll be getting about 30 days period to appeal your gradations. That they also follow a 3-year accreditation cycle, 5-year cycle, 6-year cycle. So depending on the criteria there, which I'll be discussing. If you are not happy that why 3-year, why not giving me 6-year, then you can challenge, and then you can say what are the areas which they have not looked into. So that is a process available to us. Now, how do this accreditation cycle period starts? Now, basically, what they do it, that as you know, this all depends upon the visiting team. So when they are visiting, so if the visit of the expert team to an institution is conducted between 1st July to 31st of December. So practically 1st July to 31st December, if they are visiting, so during that time, normally most of the colleges will be running the courses. So they will consider as for an ongoing academic year. So this will be, that means accreditations with effect from the 1st July of the ongoing academic. But if the visit is conducting from 1st January to 30th June, so this will be actually considered for accreditation of your next academic year. Because by and large, what happened, depending on the institutes, from March, April, May, June, so that is the times the courses completion. So to avoid that sort of a confusion, what the NBA does it, they have 2 time slot. If your inspecting team visits you between 1st July to 31st December and you get an accreditation, so that will be valid from the current year. Otherwise, if it is the inspecting team is from 1st January to 30th June, so this will be valid from the next academic. So, and when you can reapply, suppose you are not accredited, so you can actually apply for a fresh application only after a completion of 1 year period. Then only you will able to reapply the accreditation process. Now, suppose institutes request a postponement. Let's say there has been already, you have given a time period and the NBA has already scheduled the time period. And that stage, if you request for a postponement, you require to pay 25% additional fee for rescheduling a visit. Suppose you says, there are certain commitment or your documents are not ready or some things are there, you can always request for a postponement of the visit. Or if the institution causes cancellation of the visit after the team has already been constituted, so that is similar line also. If for some sort of a cancellation has been requested, so 25% fees are also requested for that. And we also has got that, as I mentioned to you, you can actually apply for an exit meeting. So you can actually withdraw from the set of a meeting. So in that withdraw stage, the first 10% fees, whatever you have paid, that get forfeited, but you can withdraw. So broadly speaking, what you have to do is you have to first register for NBA. And once you registered, you need to work it out your SAR. Once your SAR is ready, and then you need to submit that SAR. So first, during your registration process, you pay 10% of fee. During your SAR, you pay 90% fees. Then if the visit is scheduled, it will be either conducted during the schedule, but if you want to postponement or it will get cancelled due to some reason where you are responsible, then you need to pay 25% more. And before the visit has started, the schedules are, they have not publicized the schedule, you can exit and then only you lose out the 10% of the fees. So let's go to the website and see how to apply your NBA accreditation. So let me now go to a little bit of a website and see this. So to reach your NBA website, so I will go to the NBA website. I hope you are seeing this. Can I have a response from any one of the participants? Because it has become a monologue for last almost half an hour. Can somebody respond to me? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is your National Board of Accreditation website. So this is the websites, as you can see this. The websites talk about the about accreditations, applying for accreditation program. There are certain publication, workshop, and the websites is give a very exhaustive information of what are the complete processes. They routinely conducted various workshops, basically to guide each institutes to prepare their how to prepare for that. Now, very, very interesting for those who have just starting their journey or want to know it. I will advise them to click on this workshop. So, just to give an idea, when you click on your workshop, you will go to the sites. As you see, there are various awareness workshop they do it, and they and go to awareness or orientation workshop. Now, in this orientation workshop, you see recently in India Habitat Center in New Delhi, they have 10th October, they have conducted one workshop. Now, this workshop has been conducted by NBA itself. Now, for an example, when you click on program, so you see this is how it was been conducted on 10th of October, and you see, and then it also gives you a detailed presentations when given. But the most important is something what I am talking about is called a self-assessment report, SAR. For an example, this is the last one which you can see it, self-assessment report 2024 by Professor R.V. Ranganath, former Dean, BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore. And then there is a document available. So practically those who are preparing for the NBA accreditation, this is the starting line. Because as I told you, your SAR is a very, very important document. What intend to be prepared or is done, they have 10 basic guidelines. So under these 10 basic guidelines, your SAR has been prepared. And that way NBA follows a very, very systematic procedures of each processes. So there will be number of questions, there are number of information. The entire things is to put into this sort of a document. Let's say I click into any of the SAR. So when I click into the SAR program, which is, you will see this SAR program for this 173 slides. If you can observe here, 173 slides are there. It gives a detailed processes of what all they will try to assess. Now you can go through this, and this is giving you basically guidelines how to prepare your SAR contest. What are the things to be prepared? The SAR will have a two-part, the part A and part B. Part A will talks about the institutional information. What is your institute? What are the informations? Part B talks about the criteria summary. As I brought it out, in the criteria, there will be 10 criteria. So which will be, the total of 9 criteria in the revised one. In the 9 criteria, you will be talking about criteria 1, outcome-based curriculum, criteria 2, outcome-based teaching learning, criteria 3, outcome-based assessment, criteria 4, student performance, criteria 5, faculty information, criteria 6, faculty contribution, criteria 7, facilities and technical support, criteria 8, continuous improvement, criteria 9, student support governance. Then there are 2 annexures, knowledge and attitude profile, all the details of your faculty and others you have to give. You will have to give program outcome, program specific outcome, whatever the work has been done in institutes. And then part C, it is the declaration various institutes, and then allied departments. So practically speaking, your SAR document is a very, very elaborate documents which are required to do that. So when you are going to your NBA website, in the NBA website, when I click eNBA, National Board of Accreditation, because this is the first stage of I do or the eNBA. So this is the process where you will applying for accreditation eNBA. First, you have to create your username and password. So this is your new registration. So I think the first stage you need to work it out. You will be doing for new registration. So once you create your username and password, and then follow the processes. And as I mentioned to you, your accreditations program for engineering will be under Tier 1 and Tier 2. Then you have engineering PG and diploma, you have management MBA curriculum, pharmacy UG and diploma, you have MCA, architecture, hospitality, and tourism management. So these are the curriculum for which you will be assessed to it. So the critical part of the entire NBA journey is your SAR, because this is the one self assessment which you will be preparing it. They are going to assess you on that. So most important thing is to follow that processes or how to submit it. So in the first stage, as if I want to put it into a flow chart, the entire processes, as you can see, you are in institutes. You will first stage, the initial stage, you will do a registration with ENBA. Now, while the registrations, you will fill up the registration form, submit the registration fee. The registration fee at this stage, you have to pay 10% of your fees. So then you will be registered. And once you registered, and then you will be allowed to upload your documents. And that is what you will be generate the temporary application, file and submit the pre-qualifier, and pay 10% of accreditation fee. So this is what you will be doing at this stage. So when this program, once you have submitted this SAR, you will, at the submission stage of SAR, you need to pay 90% of your fee, because that is the times you have says, okay, my document is ready. This is what I am doing it. You can come and inspect. So that is the stage you have to pay. You see the stage 2. It is the 90% fees to be done it. And at this stage, as I told you, if you want to withdraw at this stage, so you have an option. Program is not processed further for accreditations, and shortcomings are being communicated to the institution. So once your pre-qualifier forms you submit, and that pre-qualifier is not approved, they found out you are not meeting the criteria, so you can actually withdraw at that stage. Now, once you have submitted the fees, you have submitted, while submitting SAR, you will be given, you will be asked to give 5 different block date. So once you submit your date, that is the time the NBA, their evaluation team, they form, and then they notify you that when your institute is scheduled for visit. So your evaluation team conduct accreditation visit, and then the post-assessment stage, your assessment starts. They normally, it is a 3-day program. So when the team come, the team will inspect you, all the document which you had submitted in your SAR. You need to physically show whatever the team demands. They will be scrutinizing the entire documents, and they will go through the all your student assessment results. When you say, okay, this is my performance, so they will actually go through your results. They will see the feedback. They will interact with the alumni. They will collect the feedback. So the entire evaluation process is only checked that what you have claimed, are you actually following it or not. So that is the stage where you will be actually assessed, and then you will have a post-assessment stage. So what I'll do it is, I think the registration part is pretty easy and clear. So let's go to the second part, which is most difficult part, is the SAR part. During your initial 10% fee, you need to generate application by selecting your discipline, level, tier, upload AICT approval letter, and then fill in a pre-qualifier. And once the pre-qualifier is approved, you will receive a mail. Then you will pay 10% fee, and then you will be given time to submit your SAR report. So let's go to SAR part. So what I'll do is, I will share with SAR of one of the institute, so that just to give an idea of what all to be prepared. Let me give you an SAR of institutes. Just allow me 1 minute. Let me upload one of the assayer of one of the institutes. One second, please. Yeah. Okay, now this is an assayer of, I picked up from the net only without, since it was available in open domain. So I thought I can just give you a glimpse of those who are in charge of the preparing of the SR. As you can see, this is a BMS Institutes of Technology and Management. This Bangalore, they are assayer which consists of 478 pages. So this is what the document which you require to submit self-assessment report submitted to the NBA. Now let's talk upon the different processes, and this part, let it be a little bit of a discussion mode. Those especially at this stage, let me little open up a discussion forum. Out of this, we have 60 odd participants here. How many are already been involved with the NBA curriculum, or you are doing it? Can I just get some response, or anybody who has been planning to do it? Can anybody mention to you, or you are been part of your NBA team, your college is doing, or you are planning to do it? So that whatever your doubt, we can discuss and we can elaborate. Because yes, can I have some response from anybody who has been part of this preparation of SAR?
Sir, I guess most of the participants in the meeting are from B.Ed colleges and universities and school of education.
Okay.
So NBA, because right now is not applicable on the education departments, but it must be known to to all. So we are all are in their learning mode as of now. So question will come anytime we will start working on it.
Okay, that's fine. So, since you are all learning about the various accreditation agencies process, like you brought it out, NAAC. So, as I brought it out, the NBA is for mostly your technical programs, AICT approved, either for engineering, BTech, MTech program, MBA programs, or pharmacy programs, or hotel management program, architecture program. So, these are the curriculums where the institutes can apply for NBA. The NBA is broadly has brought it out. They have got 10 different criteria, and like your NAAC, the similar, but here the process are slightly different than your NAAC. So I'll just bring it out what the process are different, because you, as I understand, as Dr. Avilasa ma'am brought it out, many of you are in the B.Ed curriculum. So you are a part of the complete learning processes. So you will appreciate how NBA actually does it. So let me slowly go through. As I brought to you, this is I am showing an SAR of one of the colleges. Now in this SAR, as you see, the part A talks about the institution. So here, the part A, as you can see, this is about the institution. So you can see the institutions, it is showing name and address of the institution. So you have a BMS Institute of Technology, Bangalore. It is affiliated to which university, when it was established, whether it is self-financing, what are the program they are doing it. So you are there running engineering curriculum, their engineering curriculum is running from 1946. Their law college from 1963. BMS College of Women 1964. So you see the architecture 2016, commerce management 2018. So these are the various programs. What are their intake which they have been doing it. So this part A talks about your college. What are the various programs which you are starting, when it was approved, what was your initial intake, what subsequent approval of the intake, what is your current intake. So all the details of your programs, the appellations, programs, curriculum, all you have to include in your part A. So part A, you need to say what is your sanction intake, what is your actual intake. So these details are there on your part A. So I'm just scrolling down. You can go through this. So now this program, here, this BMS college, they wanted to apply for NBA for undergraduate program of information science and engineering. So BTech in information science and engineering. So that program, they want to get it NBA accreditation. So this is what the program for which the applications, the SIR has been prepared for information science and engineering program. Okay. Now, in these programs in engineering, so first they will be asking you how many faculty, what are the various faculties, what are the how many contractual faculties, and these forms are sacrosanct. You need to fill up this data. If you see you have a zero data, so you will put it to zero, but the forms are already there in their website, and you need to fill up actually and in this template only. So I'm talking about their curriculum. Okay. Then the important, as I brought it out, one of their main important criteria is their vision statement, mission statement. And so you need to state your vision, mission statement. Who is your chairman, director. So this is constitutes your part A. So as I brought it out, the part A will have about the institutions, what are the various programs, and then for which program you want to apply for NBA accreditation. So that is one you will fill up. Next important thing is a part B. Part B, you will have to fill up the total 9 criteria. Each criteria will be dealt separately. So let's go to the part B. Now in the part B, when you go, first talk about criteria 1. Now in the criteria 1, is vision, mission, and program educational objective. Now here, just a statement of vision, mission, and program educational objective, just a statement will not help. What NBA wants to know that what is your vision, what is your mission, and for that particular program. That means whatever an institute can have a vision statement of the institute, a mission statement of the institute, but if that is creating 5 different programs, they are running law, they are running management, they are running BTech. Each program can have their own vision, mission statement. But they also want to know how you have created that vision statement, how you have created that mission statement, how you have created your educational objective. The entire process requires to be captured. Just a statement, whatever comes to your mind, you have done it, is not acceptable. They want to know that this vision, mission statement is created by what are the processes, because this constitute also marks. As you see this vision, mission statements as one of the criteria, 50 marks, they will not give it to that. So first is the statement. Then as you see in this document, as you go to the statement, now this is a vision of the department. Now department is like, for an example, they wanted to apply for undergraduate science and engineering, emerge as a center of learning in the field of information science and engineering with technical competency to serve the society. So this becomes a vision of the department for which this college is applying for NBA accreditation. Again, the mission of the department. So for this, what is the mission of the department? Then whether you need to now justify how this department vision and mission is aligned with the institute vision and mission. So that's elaborations you need to do it. So next part is department vision and mission, whether it is aligned with institute vision or mission, that you need to bring it out. Then you need to create your program educational objective. What the PEO? That is again of 5 marks. Now in the PEO, PEO has to be flow out of your mission. So first statement is your broad, is your vision. To implement that, to meet that vision, you need to create a mission statement. For each mission, you need to create your program objective. PEO you have to create. So you need to create your program educational objective. So for example, they have created PEO1, successful professional career in information science technology, pursue higher studies and research, execute professional element, teamwork with social concern. So these are their objective they have created. Now, while this objective has been created, you need to state well this vision, mission and things are how they created, whether it has been discussed with stakeholders. So that's the entire process. You need to document that entire process. So the process is to be documented here, that you see you create a complete where all you have published your vision, mission and PEO statement, the various, you see you have, they have published in their institute website, they are part of a conference, major project, department newsletter, research compendium. So all this, wherever their vision, mission statements are there, that you bring it out, and you need to give a documentary every thing. Yes, this my vision is available in my website. These vision mission are displayed on this sort of a common area, laboratory, classroom. So all these photographs you need to click. You see all the vision mission. So that means the intention is the entire college should know that what is the vision, mission statement of this institute or department. So you need to display prominently this vision, mission statement. Are you doing that? If you are not doing it, you need to prepare vision, mission statement and start placing everywhere. So the student also know, they are aware that where all, you see, where all PEO has to be displayed. For an example, HOD room. Your academic head room should have a vision statement, should have a mission statement, should have a PEO also statement. So these are you displaying it? Your classroom should have a vision, mission. So you not only create this, you need to mark where all you have displayed, all the photographs you discussed, you need to include. Then how to reach that statement is just a thing. You need to completely elaborate the process of achieving vision and mission statement. What exercise you have done. So what they do it today, if you have a meeting, you have a deliberating in a meeting, you need to do a video recording, you need to do a geotech photo of your session. That okay, on so and so day we had a brainstorming session of our vision, mission statement. We have created this vision and this statement, who all are present. So your employer, your alumni, your parents, your student. So all the details you need to record. So the entire process needs to be captured, that where your vision, mission statements are there. You see, state the process for defining the vision and mission of the department and PEO of the program, 25 marks. So 25 marks will be given, or for a complete processes you have to elaborate. The complete processes of vision, mission, for an example, the institutes, the faculty council brainstorming. Now you, all the proof you have to keep on collecting. If you are following it, you need to start collecting the information, that when you conducted this counseling session, how it was collected, how does the summarized view, what is a draft statement, whom the draft statement was submitted, whether your board of approval committee has approved this, whether accepted, whether stakeholders, final vision mission. So the entire processes what you had followed, the entire processes has to be documented and brought it out in this SAR statement. That when you created, what are the thing, faculty council meeting, you need to elaborately bring it out, how you have gone through this process. Establish consistency of the PEO with mission of the department. So again, you need to create your mission and PO. So this is how the elaborate tables you need to work it out, that what all options you had followed, the process. So process itself is a very, very elaborate process. So to prepare for an MBA, if an institution has to be preparing for an MBA, the first step is a very elaborate process of your vision statement, your mission statement, your program objective, how you have reached to this sort of a things. Because from here, your complete processes will flow. And then these processes has to be documented, and then only it can be checked by the accrediting agency. So you will has to document the entire processes. As you can see, justification for mapping, how they have done a justification, J1, J2, J3, the entire processes has to be mapped and elaborated in your SAR. So this is past. So I have just discussed criteria 1 out of that 9 criteria. So first criteria is your vision statement, your mission statement, your program objective. So what I put it out is just not a vision statement. You need to completely document the entire process. Each department can have their own, but it has to be in line with the institute vision mission, how you have reached, what are the process, what are the justification. The entire process has to be documented, a very, very elaborative process to be followed, and this sort of a documentation is to be prepared, because the whole total, it gets on to 50 marks. Out of the 50 mark, only 5 mark is your vision mission statement. It's just your statement. If you have got 5 mark, but remaining 45 marks is depending upon whether you have displayed it correctly, whether you have followed it, what are the processes. The entire documentation has to be done. So it cannot be an overnight task. It has to be done over a time on which you develop this criteria 1. So once you have done this criteria 1, the next part is your criteria 2, which talks about basically the program curriculum teaching learning processes. Basically, as I brought it out, the NBA talks about PO, CO thing. What is your program outcome? What is your course outcome? So how you do it. So out of this, criteria 2 carries 120 marks. Now, out of 120 marks, the again distributions for program curriculum, you have 20 marks. And then what is this teaching learning processes? So you have remaining marks. So let me go through how they do this. Now you see this, let's say this is your curriculum. You have a syllabus which has been given by the university. Let's say you're doing a BTech program or you're doing an MBA program. So you have a syllabus. So these are various course title, and you have the credit system. The credit system says how many credit theory class, how many credit of practical class. So lecture, theory, practical, what is an homework, how much of on-time work. So total credit systems, you need to first map it. That okay, for an example, this B program, they had a program or a course title as calculus and linear algebra, which is out of 4 credit. So this credit, so you have the teaching hours per week. Per week, 3-hour lectures, the classes are there. So this is how they complete the curriculums. These are the various paper on which this programs has been put up for an accreditation. There are electives, there can be a practicals. So these are the details you need to give it. Now, in this, like since this college is under the university, what is the AICT credit, how much of university has been credit they are following it, how much of gap they are following it. So the entire activities has to be mapped. So first thing is, you are first few pages brought it out. What is your scope? The scope of the courses. What are all paper you are covering? What are the credit? And how much AICT is prescribed, and how much your university is prescribed. So how much is the gap? So though sometimes what happens, the university has got certain freedom. Though there is an AICT guidelines, the universities or a deemed university, they can customize their curriculum. So they, because they, some part of your curriculum, they say it will be a self-learning. It will be through the MOOC course. So your university or deemed university status, so they can specify that out of this credit, the total about 42 credits, I will be teaching, let's say 30 credits, remaining 12 credit I will be achieved through this process. So that 12 credit, they will elaborate that how you wanted to conduct it. So once you elaborate, then you need to specify this sort of details of how you are closing the loop. Basically, if the difference are there, either are you doing some online classes or doing some self-learning program? Do you have some MOOC program? So all the details you have to give it so that you will fulfill the curriculum gap. Now, the most important is that for each program output, and for an example, in our, I will be talking in, just to give an example, we are under Guru Gobind Singh IP University. Each syllabus has got a program output. Each program, suppose I am teaching, let's say business analytics is a paper. So business analytics paper has got, they have given it 5 program outcome attributes: PO1, PO2, PO3, PO4, PO5. So this POs, so we have actually, if you see it, we need to map these POs, that whatever the various POs for various courses. So the complete metrics have been available. So you go through this metrics, and then how many the program outcomes are there, as you discussed. Okay. Yeah. So as I brought it out, for an example, whenever you have a program, you will identify the gap. The gap, you will justify how you are identifying, filling up the gap. The some gap is called a lifelong learning. The gap, I am not considering this because I will be doing various programs. There are certain modern tool, I am using it. So you need to elaborate that whatever your AICT norms, how you are going to do that. Then you need to contain beyond the syllabus for attainment of POCO. If you are saying there are certain gaps you have identified, and then this, how you have done it. For an example, they have, this college has conducted, identified a gap called environment and sustainability teamwork. How they have done it? They have conducted a course, survey on capability-based systems in Linux, resource person designation, number of students present, this, so relevance PSO. So practically speaking, the entire programs, how the classes has been conducted, the entire thing is to be mapped. And for each document, you need to also, let's say, when somebody say there is a activity on 4th November 2023, I have done a problem, modern tool uses, individual teamwork, Mrs. S. Mahalakshmi has taken. Now all these document, you have to be kept it ready. So that means if you are doing any course, see, one in a school or in a college, what happened, you have a timetable. So that timetable copies are definitely there. But beyond the timetable, suppose I have a guest lecture, I am conducting an external thing. So I need to record each and things and what has been taught. This has been covered under what gap analysis. So I need to work it out. So whenever I am planning my the uh, the curriculum. So once how many credits I have to follow, I want to uh, complete this, so I need to elaborately discuss this part. So so all the details what you have been given. Then comes to your next part, 100 mark teaching learning processes. So first 20 marks is just your documentation part. What are the university IICT norms? How many programs supposed to given? What is a gap? What you have done? Now is your how you are conducting this program. So detailed process followed by improving quality of training learning, 25 marks. How your lesson plan has been prepared, what is your course delivery, what is your assessment, how COPO attainment has been done, what is the correction plan. So the entire curriculums, like what has been mapped, it has to be presented to that. They will ask you question, show me your lesson plan, show me how you have assessed this, so how you have attainment. So all through academic assessment, surveys. So all these documents you need to be ready to present to the team that this is my objective. Have I met my objective? How I have reached my objective? So the entire process I will be total detail when I say. So I'll have to go to that. I'll go a little fast because I can see it. It is almost 3:30. Half an hour is left. So let me go a little quickly. As I brought it out, I have about 9 criteria, 478 pages. So I'll not be possible to discuss each and every page. So I'll just cover. So what elaborate process in the teaching learning process, what I just summarized. The teaching learning process, you need to know what are your AICT approval credits, how much credit you are covering, how much credits have been left to the or what is the gap, how you are attaining that gap. Then in the teaching learning processes, what are the lesson plan teachers have been following, 25 marks. Then 25 marks goes to how much program outcome you have achieved. So since this is your objective, course objective, you need to prove that whether the student has able to achieve that, learn that. That can be shown either by the mark they have achieved in their exam. So particular program outcome, if they have marked, or there is an, let's say you wanted to say research objective, how many papers they have published, how many conference they have attended. So all those details you need to do it. What you are doing for a slow learner student, if you are finding and somebody has failed, what you have done. So you need to work on your academic performance, distinguish between slow learner and fast learner. What are the projects you are doing it? What are the additional classes you are doing it? So complete day-to-day activities, whatever you are doing it. At the same time, you need to actually create those paperwork so that when there is an inspection team, you will able to show these sort of actions what we have been doing. So complete elaborations, as you see, what are the success. This is batch-wise success rate. Each batch, what they have attended. So that means what is an impact analysis of assisting slow learners? What are the action taken they have taken? Okay, so the details has been to elaborate through this. So quickly come to the next attributes. So this is a very elaborate process of how the complete teaching processes, which involve the entire student performance, academic performance, your course curriculum, your teachers' performance, a very, very elaborate process of 120 marks you have to discuss in detail. So as you can see, they have all elaborate and whatever required, the document, office order, the photographs, everything has to be part of the SAR report. Now let's go to the next attributes. Again, there is some, since it is in technical courses, there will be always requirement to initiative related to industry interaction. So how many MOU you have signed, what is your industrial visit, what is in faculty consultancy, how much your internship. So all these also being part of this criteria 2. So this is all becomes your criteria 2 for elaborate process. Now let's quickly come to your, this is your visit. Go to criteria 3. Now what is criteria 3 is course outcomes and program outcome. Now so far what you have things, how you have learning outcomes, you have done it. At the end of the things, now at this criteria 2, you are actually following the detailed steps of each semester. Once criteria 3, it is almost end of the course. That means a student who is joining a BTech program, it is a 4-year program. In the 4-year program, each semester wise, how the details, how you are doing it, whatever each semester, each subject, all details will come in criteria 2. The criteria 3 is when he is passing out, what is finally his program outcome and course outcome. So that is what you need to bring students to know at the end of the each course. So that is what, let's say at each course they have defined that these are acquired the fundamental knowledge on different data structure operation, apply linear and non-linear data structure in problem solving, analyze various linear, non-linear data structure in different application. So whatever you have defined, your course outcome, this course outcome at the end of the course, it will be converted into the project work has been done by the students. So basically, since it is a technical course related, so you need to now criteria 2 and 3 will be quickly mapping to the outcome of the program. So you need to elaborate in detail each program and then how you have able to achieve each program. So the detailed elaborations you have to give it. Now this is how, and many of us, especially who are affiliated to the university, we are bound by the university curriculum. There is a bit of a flexibility available for the DIM university or an autonomous institute, because the autonomous institute can actually change this course outcome, COPO mapping, how they wanted to do it. But for us, we will be following the university curriculum. So you need to prepare your college activities taking account of the guidelines given to the university. You cannot violate the university courses. So practically speaking, whenever you are trying to design your course, how much of theory, how much of lab, what is the project, what is the assessment criteria, how much is quiz, how much is internal assessment, what is your internal mark, the complete evaluation systems you need to project, and you need to show how you are doing in continuous internal assessment, semester exams, project work. The entire marking systems has to be captured, and then this has to be documented and shown to you. So the complete criteria 2 and 3 is a very, very long, tedious process of the paperwork you need to prepare, which establish that you are following a complete procedure of the learning and evaluation process. So I am quickly going to the next criteria on criteria 4. This is each batch wise they have calculated. So we'll quickly move. The criteria 4. The criteria 4 is talks about the student performance. The criteria 4 is, and here student performance, you will be doing it basically, as you know, it is for a cycle. So you need to see for the next, for a 3-year cycle. So practically, if you are following now, if you are, let's say this year, you have, your institute is open for accreditation, you need to work backward for 1 year before and 2 years before. So that is what you need to do. Let's say in this case, 23-24 is your current academic year. So 22-23 become current academic year -1. 21-22 become current academic year -2. 2021 current academic year -3. So the entire record, so it is not a 1 year program. How your students has been working on it. So it is a long-term plan. So you need to actually collect the data of last 5 years, the programs, how the students has performed last 5 years, what are the total number of students. So whenever your student performance criteria 4, the student performance is no longer now limited to your current academic year, while your current um, criteria 2 and 3 mostly focus on your current year activities, how you have been doing it. The criteria 4 talks about the entire assessment of the students for last 5 years. So in elaborate your admission, their result, how much they have passed out, what is the average mark, what is how many back paper they have got, the entire. So there is a complete success rate they calculate. Let's say in this case 221 students have taken admission and 213 has passed out. So what is your success index? So each year success index they will calculate, and then they will calculate average success index. So you are calculating an average success index, academic performance of last 3 years. So the entire criteria 4 talks about the student performance in not only 3 years but on overall scenario of almost 5 years. The entire programs, how many placement, what is back paper, all these details about the students will be captured in the criteria 4. So I'm quickly moving to the next criteria. I hope it is not scaring or not very boring, because this is the process. Since most of you are here for a learning process and overview, so I'm sure this overview will give a broad idea that how elaborate an NBA curriculum, that sort of things, all that your students have done well, somebody achieved certificate. So keep on accumulating it. Whenever anybody getting, any student getting prizes, keep a copy at your college, because you not only has to, unfortunately what happened, you realize now, you try to look for a record of last 4 year or 5 year, you will not find it, because the student have passed out, their certificates is no longer with you. So you need to start a process where you need to capture this. Otherwise, how do you prove to the agencies, yes, this many students has won the prizes, these are the certificate, as you can see. The entire process is to be followed. Then comes your criteria 5. The criteria 5 talks about, again, is the faculty contribution. So now you are migrating from students to your faculty. How many faculty details? So first you have to provide, and faculty contributions play a very, very important role and constituting 200 marks. Very, very important roles, that how your faculty, how many PhD, how many non-PhD, what is their contributions. So all details about the faculties, what is the student faculty ratio, that also comes account into this. So in this case, as you can see, the faculty details they have provided, and after faculty details, you will have what is the student faculty and what they do it. Each year, depending on the years, what are the ratio for 3 year cycle they calculated. The part-time faculties are not counted. If somebody come and delivered one lecture, so he is not considered as your faculty. There is a criteria given that who will be treated as your faculty. Though you have a guest faculty can be treated as a faculty, provided he or she fulfill certain criteria. So based on the criteria, there's entire guidelines has been given. So you need to see what are, so 3 things very important. First thing is, what is student faculty ratio, what is then cadre ratio, and then they calculate a formula, very elaborate formula, what is in cadre ratio marks, faculty qualification, how many PhD, non-PhD, those detail, depending upon what is the vacancy, and how many faculty shortage are there. So complete elaborate, and this will be done for 3 year cycle. Current year -1, current year -2. So the entire faculty curriculum has to be done through this. Apart from this, they also check that what are the contributions of the faculties and various platforms for an online platforms or things, how the faculties has been contributed. So the details of the faculty, how many quality publication they have, Scopus Index journal, Scopus Index book chapters, Scopus Index conferences, Web of Science index paper, how many citation, how many books, each carries a mark. So your complete faculties, what are the, and again, you need to have the detail of the paper. And as I told you many times, what happened, a faculty is there 2 year back, he or she is no longer working with you, but his or her contribution is continues to remain valid for this. So you need to have the detail of their paper published during the time where she was there. So all this detail, so you need to have a systems where any paper published by a faculty, those document has to be, a copy has to be kept in the college. So this mandatory procedure has to be followed. What are all paper, citation, any conference, anybody attending any seminar, all the details has to be captured, and the record has to be maintained, because once you prepare for NBA, all these records becomes very, very important. So in this criteria, where the faculty, the requirements is depends upon what is number of faculties, what is the ratios, how their contribution, what are the number of publications they have done. So the entire things will be discussed in detail. So quickly now going to the next criteria. Criteria 6 is basically talks about the facilities and technical support. So now this only got 80 marks. So here out of 80 marks, whatever your laboratory, technical manpower, technical staffs, what is the ratio. Now AI has got a norms. For an example, suppose I'm a programs which is running a BBA or MBA or a BCA program. So they have specified how many lab has to be there, what should be the computer, how many computer required, whatever the specification, how many software, licensed software to be required. The entire AICT documentation has to be met. So depending, so you need to map complete your lab technical details, each one, the details, each lab, whatever the process, and you should be ready to prove these documents. Not only just you see, so you need to create this sort of a document, how many computers you have, what are these, what are the software, when you purchase the license, what is your AMC, the entire process, how in the library, how many books are there, what are your online subscription, what are your anti-plagiarism software. So the entire things has comes into this categories, your infrastructures, how many classroom, what is your playground available, infrastructure facilities. So these details will be discussed in this criteria. So this is how you can, so they have a lab, the display rooms, the classrooms, the library, the all details need to be captured, and this has to be documented and submitted in this. So the details of the next comes is your criteria 7. The criteria 7 is how you are implementing continuous improvement. So this again consists of 50 marks. What is their continuous improvement? And this continuous improvement is basically again comes out to the criteria 2 and 3 when talks about COP or mapping and how you are trying to improvise it. So this is the process. Again, you need to elaborate what are the new guidelines, what are the new workshops, seminar you are doing, what are the actions. So you need to be bring out your innovativeness, creativeness of what are your actions, how you have created. So let's see, action 1, action 2, they have identified. Case studies, innovative questions have been incorporated in the question paper. Now you have written here. Now you please show it. So bring a question paper and to show how this case study has been innovated. So modern tool used, that shows any documentation. So each actions which you are proposing, you need to show to the inspecting team that yes, this is what we have done for a continuous improvement. How you are doing an academic audit, internal audit, and then doing through this. So academic audit part, continuous improvement, how you are trying to do. You can run a boot camp and see how actions are there. So these details need to be projected in this criteria. Very, very elaborative document. So as you can see, now quickly come to the next criteria. This is details of the placement, how you need to, all your alumni record you need to maintain where they are working, because this is also important, that how they have performed there. If somebody has joined a company and company has thrown him out in 2 months time, and then this is not a good indicator, that because that also carries certain weightage here. So you need to have those details. Okay. How many has gone to higher studies? How many are the year-wise placement? Research average salary package. So these all details will flow here. Next is your criteria 8. Now criteria 8 talks about basically talks about the academics, the first year academics. Now what is this first year academics is basically it focuses on present course which is running. So what at present what you are. So this is they given weightage even 50 marks. This is all total, but at present how you are doing it. So criteria 8 talks about the present things, what all the present faculties, because basically they want to see whether your institute is improving or deteriorating. If you see there are many good faculties that have left, that's not a good indication. If you see there are some new faculties have come with more PhD, more degrees, more things, so that will become an added advantage. So first year academics is a criteria that presently how many faculties are there. Initially, when you say faculty contribution, you need to take 3-year account. But here it is mostly focused on your current year. What is current year courses, how they are, what is the workload, what is their academic performance. So it is mostly focused on this. This 50 marks will be based on the current year academic score. And then the next important is criteria 9, which talks about the topics is student support system. What all student support systems you have rated out. In the student support systems, how you are trying to help the student both in mental and mental health, as well as in their complete learning processes. So what is the contact hour, what is their academic process, what is your dropout. So complete student support systems of the college will be discussed and will be documented in types. What are the mentee, mentor systems you are following, the complete, how many counseling you have done. So what are the student committee, the student grievance cell, all the details you need to capture, and these details will be part of these institutes under this criteria. So you will go detail and summarize this. So let me stop it here. So broadly, go back to my presentation is, as you rightly says, is, so I have covered to you is a basically self-assessment report in last almost about 45 minutes, the various criteria which do depend. As you can see, the NBA curriculums is a very, very elaborate systems, starting with what is your mission, what is your vision, what is your program objective, how you have generated, what are your course curriculum, what is your course outcome, what is your program outcome, how you have designed, how you are conducting, how the students have performed, what is the faculty have contributed, what are the gaps. So all details what have been included in the complete SAR details. So having done this, to summarize, these systems is basically we are focusing on a outcome-based education. And as you remember, I was talking to a Washington Accord, which talks about the complete education systems has to be now is a outcome-based education. As since you are all or most of you are with a B.Ed curriculum, I am sure with national education policy, the focus is to be that we must migrate from rote learning, that instead of learning by rote, memorizing, to some sort of a critical thinking learning. So today the government is focusing that do not just try to memorize, but try to understand, innovate, and reach to a level of learning where you will able to think, you will able to create. So your learning is now been migrated into a level of creative thinking. So what you intend to students intend to learn, how you are preparing, how your curriculum has been designed, how your institute is helping. This becomes a very, very important process. So when you go through this process, you prepare your SAR, as I had shown to you. That institute has prepared 478 pages of SAR, following all these criteria. And now the team will come, the team will evaluate each and every criteria. All documents will be put up to the team. They will assess, they will see whether it is actually been done or it is actually done in paper. So it is very, very difficult to full each and every, you cannot create this document in a month or two. It is just impossible. As I show, 3 to 5 years of preparedness is required if you are really actually aiming for a good grading. Then out of the 1,000 marks, you need to score minimum of 750 marks. So that is the things with a minimum of 60% in mandatory criteria. What are the mandatory criteria? This is criteria 1. This is vision mission statement. Criteria 4 and 8. So 4 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the criteria where you have to score minimum 60% mark. And overall, if you get 750 marks out of 1,000, then only you will get an accreditations for 5 years. So 5-year accreditations of your institute can be given if you are able to score 75% with a minimum 60% mark in these criteria. However, if you score minimum of 600 points in aggregate, so then you will get a provisional accreditations for 2 years. So you institutes get a provisional accreditations for 2 years. Anything less than 600 marks, no accreditation. So the selections is also, as you say, out of 1,000, you need to prepare your all process. So then you need to, whenever you are preparing your SAR, basically that gives an, by just going through a SAR, it itself gives you a guideline how to actually run an educational institute. Is a SAR itself is a big learning, because tomorrow if you are aiming for an MBA for your academic program, these documents are very, very important. So you need to work backward to prepare for a year or two, then only you should be able to aim through this. For post-graduation Tier 2 programs, again, the criteria are almost identical. The first one which I had shown to you is for undergraduate, because I am focusing on Tier 2. So post-graduations are almost similar criteria. This is how you will be given this. To summarize a few more minor detail, the fee is, initial registration fee is about 1 lakh rupees plus taxes 18%. And then you need to have if you have only one accreditation program, you will be paying 2 lakh rupees for tax. 2 program 4 lakhs rupees, 3 program 6 lakh, 4 program 8 lakh, like this. So this is the fees you have to be paid. And then for if, and as I shows these fees, if you need to pay 10% first and then remaining 90% before the team comes. And if you really after the team given the result, if you are not happy, then you need to appeal, and this appeal, for example, again for appeal also, you need to pay 1.5 lakh. So if you score minimum 60%, then only you will be given accreditation. And if you score above 75%, then only you will be given accreditations for actually 5-year program. And there is a refund policies. These details are there in the website, so you can go through the website, as I told you. And those who are preparing this, there are many website or a government initiatives are there, which will help you. To name it, there are one very, very important thing is called a Margdarshan program, where AICT is can nominate one of the institute nearby who will act for your Margdarshan. These are the various government initiative which will help you running through the various curriculum. For an example, FDP, as you are doing part of this, faculty certification, Smart India Hackathon, Swayam, MOOC platform. As you know, many students are utilizing this for their learning. A national credit framework, academic bank of credit. Recently, the university has made it mandatory. AI-based education tool, evaluation processes. So this is in detail. So with this, I just will stop it here. I'll open to the question answer or discussion of my session of what is an NBA. To summarize it, NBA is a very, very valued accreditation systems by the agency, which is truly independent, part of a Washington Accord, where this certification is valid by international institute, international university. So if your institutes get an NBA accreditation, this gives a very, very significant value addition to the programs you are using it. However, the assessment process is very, very elaborative. You need to prepare your SAR, as I brought it out, through the various criteria with a very, very elaborated process, and they go through the process. And once you qualify, you will be able to do it. So this is in summary your process, and any questions, any discussion, I'll be happy to answer to that. Ravilasam, anything you want to add?
Floor is open for the questioning. I request participants to please raise their questions.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Yeah. So my name is Ms. Juhi Biduri. I'm a fellow faculty at AI. Thank you for a valuable session. My question is not particularly on the MBA, but NAAC in general, if you may permit. Can I ask a question about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to know, like, after such a rigorous process like we undertake for NAAC, so how does NAAC accreditation or the grade, it helps the institute? Does it it adds to the quality of the institute, but can we have fundings from UGC or other agencies based on the grades we get? So
Ma'am, I think I'm not very much clear on this about how the grading helps you in UGC funding. I'm
not just funding, but the NAAC accreditation, it adds to the overall quality, sir.
Yes, NAAC accreditations, if you see, first thing is for a B school like me, straight away it enhances my market value. If I say it is a NAAC A plus, NAAC A, straight away the companies today, like see my placement, the company do ask me, keep presently what is your NAAC accreditation. Many companies do not come to me. They says ki no, we only visit the NAAC A best institute. So I lose out maybe 30% of your possible companies visiting me. So that means the placement is affected. So if you have my institutes is not up to that particular level, so they assume that my students do not meet those sort of levels, so they don't come to me. So it definitely affect me. Second, there are, even for a example, given a small example, like a study loan by bank. There are many institutes, there is bank, one of the criteria of the study loan, if you are studying in a NAAC A plus institute, you do not have that set up a guarantor. That set up a guarantors has been whoever. If you are studying in IIMs and you are doing that sort of a course, or you are an IIT's top level thing, you do not require a guarantor. The course itself is a guarantor. So straight away, banks are offering you study loan because they know that if you pass out from the college, you will be in a position to earn enough money to repay your study loan. So that's
Okay.
itself is a credibility.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, your research consultancy grant, the detail, but directly how much direct linkage of UGC funding, I am not sure. Maybe if somebody knows, can elaborate. I am not sure.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. I have one question. Satyen Gupta.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir, is NAAC, NB is also updating like the NAAC? Or are they following the same procedure of
No,
the
no,
last
no. They
year?
have from 2020. See, there is a document 2019. Then they have revised this criteria, the evaluation marks, in 2023. So there is a change in the NBA systems. The best document is 2019, but now 2023 the documents they have changed. Basically, the COPO mapping, the outcome, the criteria has been changed. So they are completely evaluating. In fact, sir, if you are interested, just go, as I showed you, go to the NBA website. There is a presentation by the NAAC chairman, which has been, and that presentations bring out what are the major changes the NBA has brought it out in recent years. So the by Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe sir, that presentation is there in their website. Just go to their beautifully. There is about 18 slides are there. The 18 slides summarize what are the recent changes and the NBA has done it and focused in on more of a outcome based learning, and
Okay.
definitely will be very very useful to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Because now NAAC is coming with the new accreditation system.
Yes.
So they are waiting for the official document. So I thought like that NB also updated their accreditation process.
Their last document, which I saw
Indeed.
their website, is 2023-24
Right.
issue.
Thank you,
But
sir.
that presentation has been very, very useful. That it is available in the website, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Sanju, we can proceed, beta, if there are no further questions.
Any more questions, anyone? Please feel free to unmute yourself or utilize the chat box to ask your questions. Okay. Thank you, sir, for your informative words and for sharing your profound insights into the NBA accreditation program. Your session has undoubtedly equipped us with a deeper understanding of the process, challenges, and benefits associated with accreditation. Thank you, everyone, for your active participation in the question and answer session. As we approach the conclusion of today's program, I kindly remind all participants to complete the feedback form available in the chat box. Submission of this form is mandatory and instrumental in helping us enhance future sessions. As today's session draws to a close, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to retired Air Commodore Dr. Jayant Kumar Sahu sir for his invaluable time, expertise, and contribution to this program. Your words have provided immense clarity and direction for all of us. I now invite Dr. Satyendra Gupta sir, Dean of School of Education, Galgotias University, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sanju ji. Thank you, Director sir. Today is very elaborated and very lengthy discussion you did with us, and every part you covered through your presentation. Though we are not the part of the NBA, because we are following the NAAC system of accreditation, but today I personally learned everything about the NBA, how it is following the procedure, what are the criterias, And best part of this discussion is that practically you show the documents as well as the website where from where we can learn about the NBA, how we can apply for the NBA accreditation, and as well as the how documents are prepared for the NBA accreditation. So this is a really in-hand experience for all of us. So I hope our all participants, including me, learn a lot about the process. So thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time and sharing your thoughts with us and your experience of NBA accreditation and very practical examples given by you. So just please receive the memento from our side, just a token of love from our side. Thank you, sir. I hope you will find it interesting. So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Abhilasha ma'am, for bringing a very intelligent person to this platform. So thank you, ma'am, for enriching our knowledge regarding the NB accreditation. Thank you, sir. Once again, I would like to thanks on behalf of this FDP. And in future also, we would like to meet you and understand the other processes of the accreditation and how to upgrade our education institution.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and thoughtful acknowledgement. As we officially conclude today's session, I urge all participants to ensure the completion of both the attendance and feedback forms, which are essential for certification eligibility. Additionally, please note that an examination will be conducted on the final day of the program, and participation in all sessions is mandatory to qualify for certification. It's a humble request to everyone to kindly open their cameras for a group photograph. Thank you, everyone. I'm delighted to share that the Army Institute of Education will be hosting an international conference on the theme Empowering Global Citizens, E-Governance and Education as Catalysts for Social Transformation on February 21st, 2025. We warmly invite all of you to participate in this significant academic event. Lastly, I look forward to welcoming you all tomorrow for day 5, where we will explore two insightful topics: the role of IQAC in quality assurance by Dr. Abhilasha Gautam ma'am, Principal of the Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida, and effective documentation of NAAC by Dr. Sangeeta Solanki ma'am, Associate Professor at the RCCV College, Ghaziabad. Thank you once again, everyone, for your enthusiastic participation, and I wish you all a pleasant and fulfilling day ahead. Thank you.